Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
and welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. And Dragon, what can be finer than our dearly beloved, our red, our red-headed scoundrel himself, our red costume scoundrel himself, Deadpool, making a comeback, making Deadpool 2. We've waited, Dragon. We've waited a while for this, for a full trailer, because of course we got the Bob Ross trailer, which was a little bit of a, it was like a minuscule little tease of like, hey, look, Deadpool's being funny and cute with Bob Ross, and just a little tiny morsel of footage. Then we got my personal favorite trailer, Dragon. I don't think this trailer comes close to beating it, which was the teaser trailer with the Deadpool and Cable, Woody and Buzz play scene right in the middle of that trailer. Like that, to me, I kind of wish this trailer was more like that. I kind of wish they had kept the Bizarro parody thing going with the marketing. Having said that, Dragon, I gotta say, just giving my first reactions to Deadpool 2, and then you can step in and defend the merc with the mouth and his honor. Dragon, I am not impressed with this trailer at all. And as a matter of fact, folks, just to peek behind the curtain here, I almost kind of insisted that we didn't do it because I got nothing to say here, Dragon. To me, by all intents and purposes, this looks like a downgrade from the first movie. I mean, I'm just talking in terms of the writing, because I am not impressed with Deadpool just saying fuck every other word. Like, I feel like my grandma, like, it's like, oh, she just says a 4-letter word every other word. But I don't know, Dragon. It's like, I feel like the shine of Deadpool is kind of worn off for me. And I feel like the sequel isn't really doing anything new, anything that we haven't really seen in the first movie, and we haven't seen, like, done better in the first movie. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. I'm very much getting a sense of, like, of been there, done that with Deadpool 2, of like, all right, we've seen him, like, he's cursing, he's saying the F word a lot. There are a couple interesting, basically this movie's more of a team up movie, and it kind of ties the X-Men more into that. And I will admit that does kind of pique my interest a little bit. But Dragon, I don't know, just in terms of the dialogue alone in this trailer, I'm going to say it, Dragon, it scares me. It scares me. If this is any indication of what the actual dialogue of the movie is going to be like, I don't know. It seems like we're going to have a really immature movie on our hands. And I know Deadpool's immature, but at the same time, Deadpool at his best is also very kind of like pseudo-intellectual in, I mean, not necessarily in kind of a, like a Freudian kind of way or anything, but, I feel like Deadpool at its best, like, I want to see more fourth wall breaks here. I want to see more things that really push the boundaries, and what I'm really getting at is, I don't know, I'm just not impressed with Deadpool swearing a whole lot. I'm not impressed with what the action looks like. Step in, sir. Be the Saul Goodman. Defend this thing's honor.
Wow, I am on the complete opposite of the spectrum
Well,
on
of
this
course
one.
you are, Dragon. You're a Deadpool super fan. I mean, I just don't have the same attachment to this that you do.
All right, where to start? Well, let me point out that with all these red band trailers, we do have the green band version of this that is out, and again, is honestly comparatively, it doesn't swear a lot, and I think you're blowing the swearing thing out of proportion, to be honest. I mean, yes, he does say it a couple times, but he really doesn't say it like as often as you're making it
To
sound.
me, it doesn't. It feels like it's swearing without substance. It's not necessarily the fact that he's swearing. It's just it kind of feels forced.
Well, regardless, I guess what I'm saying there is even taking the swearing out of the equation, I think the movie still would still have the substance is still going to be there, and just you're going to have just kind of you always have the fun novelty of hearing Ryan Reynolds curse and just kind of the kind of the spin I'll put on it, like all the various ways you can spice up the F word. But anyway, off of that, honestly, for me, this was kind of the trailer I really needed because I was in a place with Deadpool 2 where basically I've told Tiki this, and I think I've gone on record saying it on when we talked about the last one, the Meet Cable trailer, the really good Meet Cable trailer, where I was at a point where afterwards when we get closer and closer to the movie, I'm going to be at a place where I was at the first Deadpool movie, where I'm going to be kind of sweating at the last second, wondering, oh no, what if it's not going to be good?
Dragon,
You know,
I'm sweating for you, buddy. I'm
well,
sweating.
here's the thing: I am I'm kind of I'm much more comfortable with it now because I was starting to sweat a little bit when I was hearing about kind of some test screenings going awry. But then here's the thing: what I'm hearing then, I'm hearing like some kind of people sweating over the test screenings, and I'm hearing the complete opposite like a couple days from them saying like, oh, it's got even better scores than the other movie, and they've done some.
Dragon, it's funny you mentioned that because I saw that just now too. I was like, wait, what the hell? I thought it was the opposite.
That's what I'm saying. So like literally like the day before, like a day or two before this, I get that knowledge. And then the point is, even when I heard like the bad test scores, well, I just kind of tried to put them. I didn't look into it. I didn't like look into what exactly wasn't working. I just
maybe the bad test scores don't worry me as much as the shift in director.
Well, my point is, I came at it with the perspective of my best worst case scenario. Again, the worst case scenario that'll make me sweat towards the end. But again, I think that after this, I'm a little less getting to that point. But my worst fear is that this turns into Ted 2. It's my worst fear. But but honestly, my main like worst case, but still thing that'll still make it good is I hope that even if I doubt it's going to replace my original love for the first one. I doubt it's going to eclipse that, but it could surprise me. I doubt it's going to eclipse kind of the love I had for the first one. Again, how kind of in many ways kind of perfect I feel that first movie is. But at the very least, I was hoping in the direction this trailer kind of continued to kind of feed the fire for me is that I think it's definitely going to be for I think that. I can't speak for the general audience, but I think the diehard Deadpool fans are going to be happy with where the story's going.
I can speak for the general audience.
So I'm just saying that was my mindset before seeing the trailer of like, you know what, I think my hope is that even with the bad test scores, that might just be with the general audience, and hopefully, maybe your diehard Deadpool fans will get a kick out of it, and it'll still be at least good for the hardcore fans. And then I'm hearing the test scores are going up, and I'm hearing we got some more Cable and Domino infused in there. I'm hearing I'm hearing an upswing, and then again, all that was just like kind of the what if territory. And then I'm getting this trailer today, and honestly, right from the get go, they kind of had me like they kind of assuaded my fears at the top of this. So. Again, well, I guess we should just probably
okay.
Well, yeah, let's just go through it and we'll get more stuff later.
All right, Dragon. Like I said, I really don't mean to be cynical about it, and maybe I'm sure you can convince me otherwise. There's some solid gags in here. I just think overall, there's not really a lot in here that's selling me that it's bigger and better than the first Deadpool.
So we'll see how you come out of it by the end here.
All right. Okay, let me full screen it.
So, by the way, our composer in this is we're on kind of a musical opening here. We have Tyler Bates doing the score for this. Doing the score for this movie. That's a good choice.
Remind me what he's done.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Watchmen. He's done other stuff too. I'm just saying those are the big ones for him.
The funny thing about both those movies is that I remember the soundtracks way more than I remember the scores. They're kind of synonymous in that way.
Well, again, I'm always unsure.
Down the guy, I'm just saying, like I
mean, also you got to remember those movies also have really good music choices, and I'm not entirely sure how much say that the composer has on like the music choice. A lot of times it's in the writing, and sometimes the director has a say. Like James Gunn very much picked out all the songs in Guardians, but you never know. There might have been some kind of conversations that go on there. So Bates might have had something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, so we have Dupinder right off. We have Dupinder right off the bat.
Yeah. Dragon, it's nice to see Dupinder. It's just again, we'll get into it. I thought the joke with him was a little like, okay, we're going there right off the bat. So we'll get into it with him.
Right off the bat, we have a great Raiders of the Lost Ark reference.
Yes, and you know me, Dragon. You know me. I love a good Raiders of the Lost Ark reference.
So, I mean, I just love and this humor news really just struck me. Deadpool running from a distance, and the idea we're seeing like the working relationship between him and Dupinder, which is exactly what I wanted from Dupinder in this movie. That okay, they're going to be, basically he's going to be driving from his jobs and essentially serving the Jacques role.
It almost looks like Deadpool is like all four of the Beatles combined, running from the fans in A Hard Day's Night.
So, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, this is the thing that's winning me over and kind of getting this thing kind of opens and suggests, again, the stuff I love about this character. My favorite aspect of Deadpool's always been kind of I love the occupation of Deadpool. I love kind of a working mercenary. I love kind of a guy who it takes pleasure in his work. It's like it's another day at the grind, and we seem to have another sequence that's implied in this trailer. Again, it's implied. I haven't seen the movie yet. but it reminds me of one of my favorite sequences from the first movie when we have the creation of the Deadpool costume montage. The team head, the Deadpool rap.
Mm-hmm.
Where again we see some some Deadpool on the job stuff coming up here. Which again, so far, I mean, the trailer right off the bat is like, okay, seems like we're getting some more of that. So I'm sold. My fears are starting to kind of cloud away, disperse.
I wish there was a snake randomly in the back of the cab.
And again, it's the fact that Dupinder kind of comes back from this fear and he's like, oh, oh, DP, everything's working out for you here. And now here's the thing that caught me by surprise with all of this in the opening as well, is that, and again, I'm kind of infused
on this. I'm really not a fan of the shit pants joke.
Well, I don't think they actually did. I think they're just kind of making kind of banter. I really doubt they actually, crap their pants. All right, so it's.
I would hope not, Dragon. To me, it's not a strong joke to lead out on. To me, I feel like the crapping the pants joke is almost kind of like it diminishes the Raiders of the Lost Ark joke a little bit, like right off the bat. Like I was stoked for the Raiders of the Lost Ark joke, but then the actual dialogue happens, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I think we're just gonna harp it on the poo jokes on that one. Anyway. So yeah, with this,
I don't like bodily function humor.
Again, we've seen good bodily function humor.
I'm generally not a fan unless it's like Mel Brooks level.
Anyway, so yeah, what Dupinder's doing here, and again, what this opening kind of,
I get the point of Dupinder. He's like, oh boy, Deadpool, I don't care how messed up you are. You're just amazing.
Sure. What I'm saying is, with this opening in general, it's like the reflecting on like all the good stuff that's happening. This is kind of reminding me of my favorites. It's kind of like one of my bucket list Deadpool things to see in film here, where it's my favorite story is the Gail Simone run. The Gail Simone run, again, I'm not saying they're adapting that verbatim here, but two things are kind of in the opening of this that remind me of it and got me kind of hyped for it. Where one, it's that story is all about Deadpool kind of being at his most successful, and the idea of opening, as it looks here, like we're going to open the movie, things are going swimmingly for Deadpool, and that's kind of what Dupinder's kind of listing off here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we go to Japan, Deadpool kind of killing off some Yakuzas, and that's also how the book opens, where he's just killing Yakuza bosses in Japan when things are going swimmingly for him. So, again, like two bits of Gail Simone kind of in the opening there. And again, considering the director isn't Tim Miller, you could assume any reference to Deadpool is directly from a book with Tim Miller. We don't have Tim Miller here, but I'm just saying, even getting that without Tim Miller in the chair, that's kind of a good sign to me.
Okay.
So yeah, basically all these kind of cuts we get here suggest like a really cool opening or like a cool sequence within the movie, which I'm kind of liking. Again, Deadpool kind of at work type stuff is some of my favorite stuff. So far, all of this is grabbing me. Some cool action.
Now I'm guessing.
Yeah, like here, and like he's going to the strip club,
mm-hmm.
And killing people in stilettos. Of course, we get some good old Vanessa. Now, I'll say this, Tiki, and I'll warn you. I would expect minimal Vanessa in this movie, but serviceable. I think she's gonna. I
mean, honestly, just from the trailer, she's serviceable. Like, I'm expecting like maybe like another sex montage at the very least, and then like some moral support.
Well, sure, that's the thing. I'm expecting a movie where you're going to have more characters. You got to imagine some of your favorites are going to be kind of have a diminished role. But I think is a good omen for like the Vanessa stuff. Maybe minimal, but it's still going to be.
TJ Miller is going to have a diminished role, but
again, we'll see what happens. So I mean, yeah, right now they're back and forth is good. Like the Superman 4 reference with all the. I went to all the.
Junkies was very cheeky about the TJ Miller thing.
Well, of course they were.
They were just like, yeah, he's still, he hasn't been caught yet. Anyway,
but yeah, we have a fun Superman 4 reference with the gluten that he's throwing all the gluten that we don't need to be afraid of into space. And honestly, just it all comes to the heart for me here when she calls him Red. It's adorable how she just says, "Oh, kiss me like you miss me, Red." Oh my God, it's kind of like again, it's the R-rated equivalent to you just hit the jackpot, Tiger. That's kind of what we have with Deadpool and Vanessa's relationship, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. Her calling him Red, that was definitely a highlight character beat of the trailer for me. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
It's kind of a callback to the whole the red your color brings out the bloodshot in your eyes, that sort of thing. That's
also
kind of
reminds me of Hellboy. Just got to throw that in there.
All right.
And I'm
So,
sure that's going to lead to a sex montage, Dragon. I'm almost positive.
oh sure.
Anyways.
Okay, now let's. Okay, now we're gonna hold on one of these for a second. I just want to I want to discuss something here. So, in terms of how we've been getting these trailers, so again, I like how the marketing has been handled. I assume when we get closer to the movie, they're not going to have a full trailer, but we'll get more viral marketing Deadpool videos like we did with the first movie. I suspect that we're going to be getting more of that, and this is be like the only. Think about it. The first we had a teaser with the Bob Ross. We have the tattoo teaser, but again, primarily the Bob Ross thing, which teased some footage at the very end. We have the Meet Cable. We have the Meet Cable trailer, which was again was pretty much we got a little. We saw a lot more of the clips clearly and got some gags and just kind of some
Cable was basically like half trailer, half parody.
Exactly. So it was hitting kind of a little bit of everything, and that was great. And now we have what I was kind of the only thing I really needed from the marketing. Again, like kind of you cut off there is that this kind of gives us the premise, which is I wanted like an inkling of what the story was going to be, and we definitely get that here. So honestly, I think we hit all the right beats with the marketing, and presumably we're going to get more viral after this. So it's I think we hit all the right beats in terms of each of them kind of contributing to kind of the all you need to know going into the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, so we have Cable and His Eminence. Seen some familiar.
The weird thing about Cable is this is going to be like less than a month after Infinity War.
That's so trippy and so cool. Again, the original is going to be both of them in the same month. To Josh Brolin.
Still going to be in the same like month period of each other.
Certainly. So let's see. So here's what I really love about this trailer. The main takeaway for me from this trailer is I love how we established the clear premise like we had with the first movie. The first movie was a revenge plot, very clear and simple. Here it's a Terminator plot essentially. Save the kid from Cable.
And I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of Terminator references in this movie. I mean, I at least I hope they are. I mean, I'm hoping they go like balls out with it. I'm hoping we see like like some liquid metal references. I'm hoping for like a thumbs up. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna do that because again, in Genesis of Cable, I'm just saying in the creation of Cable, he's very much modeled after Terminator and some Arnold Schwarzenegger roles. So I mean, they're bound to have some there, and I suspect the end joke of this thing actually is a Terminator joke. I'll bet you all the money in the world it's a Terminator joke at the end of this. But we'll specify that later. So again, that's what I'm saying. The big takeaway for me and what I really needed from this trailer that I got, and again, it was like kind of checklist of like, okay, well, I need some kind of some reassurance about class the Deadpool I know and love, and I need a premise. And the premise is Deadpool saving this kid from Cable, and presumably Cable needs to kill this kid to secure the future. Either he's manipulated by bad people, or he turns into a bad person and wipes out the future. Yada yada yada.
It's interesting, Dragon, because I've never even considered Cable to be a bad guy. Like I've always known that him and Deadpool have a cantankerous relationship, but I always pictured it more as like a buddy cop dynamic.
Oh yeah, well again, like a buddy cop movie or like any buddy movie, they're gonna start off like many, even Toy Story for instance, they're kind of enemies at the beginning, and then they have like a growth, kind of a journey that kind of grows them together. By the end, they're friends.
Okay.
And again, that's how it goes in the comics too.
And I was picturing it being in terms of the plot.
Oh yeah, I mean the very beginning in the first appearance, like Deadpool, he's been hired to kill Cable, so it's kind of a fun reversal of these two guys kind of fighting each other. Is how it always starts. So.
Gotcha.
All right, let's see. So yeah. Okay, so hold on. Let's hold on Denison here for a second. So again, we have two with this plot, and when I heard like this kind of clarify like what the premise of the movie is, and this is in service of two big Deadpool ideas that I'm very keen on, and it's a good evolution for this character and kind of some new layers to see with Deadpool. It just shows that okay, we're not just going to resort to just kind of pure like kind of cheap gags with Deadpool. This kind of shows you that it suggests that we're going to kind of develop the character, make him funny, but we're going to develop the character first and foremost. Again, like Deadpool, the first movie, while it is hilarious and while it is a lot of fun, again, there's a tragedy in there, and there's you care about Wade Wilson. Mm-hmm. And here, the big ideas were surfacing that track with kind of what we know about the guy is that Deadpool is very protective and he has a soft spot for kids, and that's always been a facet of his character. And specifically, and here's what ties this whole movie together, by the way. In the X-Force comics, when Deadpool is part of the X-Force team, the big storyline with Deadpool in that series is the team the X-Force team, essentially they have a mission where essentially it's kind of like an old like baby, it's like, do you kill baby Hitler dilemma, where it's the kid, they rescue a kid and they realize this kid will grow up to be Apocalypse. Now let me make it clear, this kid is not going to be Apocalypse that we saw in Age of Apocalypse.
Is it going to be Pyro?
Some people are speculating that. I don't buy it, but you never know. Again, we don't know who the kid is. Like there's also an obscure Marvel character called Butterball that he also could. Again, it could be, but by a different like kind of name with all the Fox kind of Marvel stuff we're still sorting out. You never know. My point is that whole story is that Deadpool, he bonds with the kid. He kind of has like kind of a he kind of mentors the kid. Like the two of them get off to a like really nice friendship, and then they realize, oh my god, this kid essentially grows up to be kind of the mutant Hitler. Do we kill him or not?
The Walking Dead.
Well, yeah, and what it boils down to very simply is Deadpool, as within his character, he's like, he does not shoot children. Deadpool, like, he is very against killing children, and what happens essentially, that kid kind of gets killed off by somebody else, and he quits the team, up and kind of quits the team. I don't think they're going that way in the movie, but I'm just saying that's kind of what generally kind of we have with kind of a kid being targeted for, like, he's going to grow up to be something horrible in the future. We got to take him out. So that's kind of where we're going to have some severity in the Deadpool story, I'm sure, like Deadpool getting protective of this kid.
Okay.
That's got me very excited. So, okay, yeah, doing some stuff.
The draw of this kid is just the actor playing him. It's I'm sorry, Dragon, tell me the name again.
I believe it's Julian Dennison.
Dennison, yeah. Hunt for the Wilder People. That's such a charming and quirky little movie.
And a Taika Waititi film.
Yeah, Taika Waititi film. Yeah. All right.
And again, this moment of a move or die. This
Waititi trilogy.
Right. And this move or die moment coming up with Wade and Cable here. It's a really nice thing. And I know we you got to see how the movie kind of portrays this, but I don't know what it is. I just love that moment Ryan Reynolds saying the kid, and it just sounds like you can sense in your bones. Okay, he's gonna grow to like this kid as the movie goes on. It's just like asking, what do you mean you want to kill the kid? And then he's taken out by this big metal arm punch by Cable. But yeah, I love that instant he has a choice to make, and he kind of disarms him and kind of opts to kind of protect the kid, it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is hilarious. Now, that's a meta joke you gotta love, Tiki.
Honestly, that's my favorite part of the whole trailer, Dragon.
I knew you were gonna like this part. I knew you were. Because again, we've seen this so many times with all the Pixar films specifically. We've always seen the people who brought you this film, that we've seen with Disney films of Pixar with all sorts of movies. They always do they brought you these memorable movies. All the Christopher Nolan films. The guy who made Inception and this from the makers of 27 Dresses and The Devil Wears Prada. That's hysterical.
Which is, and it's totally accurate as well.
I mean, we're going to get fourth wall jokes, Tiki. I wouldn't sweat it. Come on, there's going to be clever fourth wall humor all throughout this.
All right. I just would like to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, we had a whole trailer. Like half of the trailer of the last one was all that. They're diversifying a little. That's all I'm saying. We're getting different stuff each trailer.
Sure. I mean, you still didn't sell me on the poop pants joke, though. I'm still mad about the poop pants joke. You can give a valid argument against.
We have had far worse, poop pants jokes. in other things. All right, I'd give them. I'd give them a pass on it. This is a trailer pass, I'm
saying, so far you've been doing a decent job of defending this trailer, but that joke still doesn't sit well.
Again, it's a joke about fear before it's about feasting. All right, it's not even graphic. All right, I would count my blessings on it. So again, now this line here, this is nice, and I love this use of Vanessa. And also, some people speculate where this might lead to another iconic thing with Deadpool's arc now in the comics, believe it or not. Deadpool, again, he's always had a soft spot for kids, and in recent years, at least within the last 5 years or so, I think it's been that long now. Deadpool has a daughter in the comics, so there's a chance, perhaps she's kind of suggesting being protected of this kid, and by the end of this movie, assuming she lives, because again, comics, she could,
yeah,
she could be with child by the end of this movie.
Okay.
They were joking in the first one, my future baby mama, so you never know. And again, that did really speak to kind of their bond and everything about, kids give us a chance to be better than, basically give us a chance to be better than you used to be.
Mm-hmm. If this
Yeah.
is Pyro, then they're gonna have to really explain the timeline on this.
That's what I'm saying. We have two gags. They have two things in here that would suggest definitely kind of big shifts in that. Like they have to take a side on all this timeline because, or at least have to make a great fourth wall gag out of it. If they're gonna make him
Honestly,
pirate,
I like to think that the Deadpool franchise exists in kind of like the Genie of the Lamp universe where they're just like omnipresent.
hmm.
I don't know. Does that make sense? Where it's like they're entirely disconnected from the rest of the Fox movies, but yet they know everything about the rest of the Fox
Well,
movies.
that's the thing, Tiki. You're not wrong with that statement. It's just that yeah, we do exist in kind of that pocket that kind of that pocket universe where we can make those jokes. But I'm saying if we see Professor Xavier in this movie, like we have like a gag that suggests we may or may not. If we see him, then they have to take a side. And if they say this kid's
I'm
pyro,
going to go
that's
on record and say I doubt Patrick Stewart's going to be in this movie. McAvoy maybe.
I don't know. I think Patrick Stewart would be pretty funny though if they get him and like him being. We'll get to it.
I'm just saying after Logan, I don't know. I like that.
Well, I mean, he had some funny moments in Logan.
What?
He did have some funny moments in Logan, and Patrick Stewart loves comedy.
No, I'm just saying the way that his character arc ended. I'm just saying like it would be kind of like take away the punch of that a little bit.
Well, I'm just saying, based on that, I'm still thinking. I don't think we're going to make this kid part because I don't think they want to risk that by taking a side. I think they're going to keep it vague. But at the very least, I really want them to address Cyclops. I want them to at least make a fourth wall joke, or like have Deadpool make another joke, like like McAvoy or Stewart with Cyclops. Because again, they have to address in this movie. I'm going to be shocked if they don't address the fact that Cyclops is Cable's father.
Uh-huh.
You know, they got to like make it like a joke about, oh yeah, was your father taken out within 5 minutes of the movie?
Exactly.
Like something like that. And again, now this dialogue again is kind of reminiscent of kind of that Werner kind of Reese kind of charm and like the meeting of these two characters. Like you're a lot smarter than I look. You know, it's simple but it's sweet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's not anything we haven't seen before in an action movie. It's just some big, strong guy scaling a wall. But
I'm just saying, we've seen some stuff with this on a ground level with the Winter Soldiers, kind of like scaling a building with the arm. That's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Go back to them.
Yeah, the Screen Junkies people. This is a joke that I appreciated. They kept going on about, oh god damn it, about what a nice, polite young man this is.
Oh, again, he's taken after Deadpool. One could surmise.
Doesn't he look like a guy who would just help an old woman cross the street, Dragon?
Well, gotta remember, cut him some slack. He is in an internment camp. Okay.
All right, fair enough.
You know, go back to the motorcycle shot, the Deadpool on the motorcycle for a moment. So if it's either after, I think it's after the middle fingers. Oh no, right,
God,
right
these
before.
shots go by so fast.
There we go.
God.
Crap. All right, just
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. It's good enough. So yes, a Deadpool on this red. Presumably it's a red motorcycle, but there is a slim chance it could be a moped. No, it's got to be a motorcycle. Never mind. But regardless, just this red bike that he's on. Again, it's like a visual thing from that Gail Simone run where Deadpool his awesome car when things are going swell for him. He had an awesome car that was totaled by the Rhino, and
That's
and
appropriate.
this. And that's the thing, because he was on a job and he was kind of irritating the Rhino and basically got his car smashed, and they had to go on like this red moped. And people made fun of like, nice scooter, Deadpool. It's like, it gives like a little grandpa motion with his hand, like, you kids get off my lawn. He's yelling. It's like, this is cool. You know. So I'm just saying, him on the red bike was evocative of just like a fun gag from the story. You know, getting some good Blind Owl stuff, and it's funny. We actually pulled a joke that was kind of cut from the first movie in the trailer, where Blind Owl was like saying, "Sounds like you have something in your mouth." There, where we kind of do that again. Here, hopefully, we'll make the cut for the movie.
God,
I love Al with this gun at the ready, and I like how useful she's going to be with it. And here's a classic Deadpool thing: all the boops. He always does this to people all the time. He does like boop. Also, they do on Archer a lot, but Deadpool was doing it as well. I honestly don't know if that. I don't know where
back of Negasonic Teenage Warhead is like, you're not doing that to me, Deadpool.
So yes, this girl, we're going to see another awesome shot of her, but just to talk about her now. This girl, we don't have official confirmation on this, but people
Yeah,
believe
Dragon,
because
I am so lost on these new characters. You're really gonna have
now
to.
tell you, look, I'm going to say this, okay? Don't worry about that because again, these are really obscure. These are X Force isn't exactly like an A book. All right, people die. The X Men was such a it's a vast team. You have all these guys, and you always splinter off the X Men book with all these individual guys, and they have their own spin-offs. You got to remember, Deadpool's like a spin-off of a is a spin-off of a spin-off that connects to Wolverine. That's how, again, I kind of went basically went in the Wolverine direction. I ended up with Deadpool. That's how I got there. And X Force is like even more like it's splintered off of I want to say it's splintered off of Cable and Deadpool. Kind of meets in the middle of those two guys. So like X Force is a Black Ops team. So the point is not your general public will have no idea who X Force is. So don't feel bad about that. And they're playing off that. They're going to introduce you to X Force. You don't need to know any of these guys, and that's why they're not really like advertising. Like, hey, they're this character because they know no one's going to know these characters. So this girl here, just from what I've done my research, she seems to be believed to be this character called Surge, who would basically use like electrical whips and like, well, she uses like electrical. She can electrify things and do kind of
She's
cool
basically
stuff.
Whiplash without like if Whiplash was just like a natural power and not
Well, I'm assuming it's a whip given the later shot we have. It might not be a whip. She just does she can electrify things.
uh-huh.
All right. So
And then
Surge,
of course,
maybe.
Dragon, you've had some very positive memories with this guy.
Yes, Colossus, good old Colossus, and again reprising the role, Stefan Kapusek, wonderful, wonderful man. I've had
I
some
don't want
pleasant
a
interactions
little
with.
bit more Colossus in this trailer. I kind of have a sinking feeling he's going to be one of the people who gets sort of swept aside.
Well, again, he is going to, for all intents and purposes, he's going to be the leader of the X-Men most likely in this. So we're definitely going to get him in there for a spell. And I've some theories when we get to the X-Men section of this. We're going to get there momentarily. So
Okay.
there's the gag. I wonder if it's going to make the cut this time.
I love the term pity dick.
That is, I gotta tell you, I love the pity added to that. That is quite
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
It's so oddly specific. I don't know.
Exactly, exactly.
I'm always down for some more blind out. And okay, now again, so this gag's fun on a few levels. So one, I love the idea that look, I'm not betting on Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy. I'm not betting on Professor X showing up in this, but what I'm assuming is Deadpool like raided the closet and he's using Professor X's
Oh,
wheelchair.
sure, sure, yeah.
However, if they were to include a Professor X, if I had the pick, I would pick Patrick Stewart just for the hilarity of it. And again, like he's been around longer than McAvoy, so I'd go off for rank on that if I had to pick. But if we had just any Professor X, what I'd love to see if they did it is like him off to that like big pan over, and he's just saying, "Can I have my chair back? Like give me back my chair, or I'll give you a brain aneurysm." Something like that. Just like
No
Professor X.
relevance to the plot whatsoever, just one quick gag.
And also, we have apparently Lowe's. We have looks like Lincoln and Obama in the same room.
Yes, yes, I love that side by side. All right.
All right, so Deadpool's assembling a team, very much like Thor from Thor Ragnarok, just kind of assembling a team, but thankfully a little more catchy than the Revengers.
And this is the point where I feel like the F bombs in the trailer get a little bit too much. I turn into like a cynical old man, honestly.
You gotta remember, a lot of it is just kind of again, if we're in a place where you can edit a lot of these out, and we have the other version of it, so you never know what's going to make the cut necessarily. Most likely, this will make the cut, but it's also out of context, so it's just there's a chance like Ryan Reynolds does dub a lot of stuff, especially when he has the mask on. They could just be pulling this or like an alternate take, and they might spice it up even better. They have various. If you ever seen the Deadpool bloopers, you'll see various kind of forms of the F bomb or insults or such, especially in especially in the Weasel scene from the last movie. So they could always spice it up or make it a little more special. Basically, if they use an F bomb, I don't think it's ever just going to be kind of standard. I always think it's going to be spiced up or kind of made look a little funnier. So, yeah. Is kind of putting the team together. Okay, Terry Crews. And now we know who Terry Crews is going to be. He is going to be a character named Bedlam, as we see in the files coming up. So we got a name on him. And one, I just want to say, period. Like, even if you don't know who this guy is, that's not important. What you need to know is that Terry Crews is amazing. Terry Crews, I watch him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine all the time, and he has me in stitches. He's one of the funniest guys ever. I love Terry. That's all you need to know. In terms of his power is, I mean, in the comics, he has like an EMP power, which could be very useful. Like you can shut off, electronics and stuff. You never, again, I don't know if they're going to put that in the movie, so I don't put a lot of stock in that. But I'm just saying, these guys would be ones who could go up against Cable. I like that all the members of the team would be very useful against Cable if they needed them.
Mm-hmm.
We have Domino, who's very much associated with Cable in terms of, like, she has a long-standing relationship, and like in the comics, she's dated Cable a couple times. She's had to fight Cable. She's had like a tumultuous relationship with Cable, and she's our Atlanta Donald Glover connection, by the way, as Azzy Beats.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's like she's supercharging a whip or like a rope or something, but yeah, this is possibly Surge.
It looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, she looks kind of interesting. I want to know what she's about. And also, I love that she's associated with one of the winning lines of the thing. Honestly, I think one of the funniest lines is, "We need to assemble a team, young enough to carry their own franchises for 10 to 12 years."
And then we cut to
their files. So Peter is some people speculate that could be it could be Colossus non-metal form. I don't think so. I heard someone did like an Easter egg count or something where they said that might be an X-Force bad guy. He might be tied into like what our X-Force is going to go up against or set up for another movie. I don't know.
Okay.
Here we go. There's a winning pose coming up here when he announces the big name, X-Force. That's cool confirmation.
Like, there's just it's hard to keep track of all the different X-Men spinoffs. I thought X-Force was going to be its own movie for a time.
It is. This is here's what they're doing, Tiki, and it's been confirmed. This is what they're doing. X-Force that is established here is the same X-Force we're getting the spinoff movie for. They're introducing it here.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, with that, it's like, okay, we're going to have the X-Force, we're going to have the Deadpool solo movies, we're going to have New Mutants, we're going to have, like, the standalone X-Men films, presumably, probably with a reboot soon.
You gotta remember, they did push a lot of those projects into the future. It's just, they're not going to be overcrowded within the same year, possibly.
I don't know. All I'm saying is that I feel like we're muddying the waters.
I don't know. At least they're tying it into the story, it would seem. So at least it's not coming out of like left field. Now, if they
a little bit more natural than X-Force or than New Mutants does.
Yeah,
I will admit that this feels like a more natural spinoff, whereas New Mutants is just kind of like, hey, you like the dark tone of Logan? We're going to give you more of the dark tone of Logan.
And believe me, with the gag we were talking about, the whole, like, the young enough to carry on your own franchise, they're going to have some fourth wall gags about building movies off the back of this for X-Force. They're going to make fun of the whole X-Force of it all, too. I think it's going to be fine.
You know what would be great? Is if Deadpool basically made a joke about, like, guys, I think at this point it's kind of cliche to joke about the fact that we're standing in a circle. Like, is that a cliche of a cliche at this point? Anyways.
The point is, they confirmed in this show that it's X-Force. A lot of people are wondering if it was going to be X-Force. Are we going to do that? Or are we going to wait till like the X-Force movie to introduce this idea? So, I mean, this is a big thing for this show. That's kind of the big thing people are really losing their minds over. Like, oh my God, X-Force. Which, again, I'm more for the Deadpool over the X-Force.
Yeah,
but the X-Force
almost kind of jumping the gun a little bit. But then again, I don't. It's hard for me to keep track of all the different projects Fox has going on. So maybe maybe that's just me being kind of like the general public side of things where I'm like, wait a minute, like another X-Men team up movie? I don't know.
I'm holding out hopes that they're going to make it
with that a little bit.
Sorry?
I said, you at least like get, like, as someone in the general public, you get my hesitation.
I do. I get the hesitation. I think they're going to. I'm holding out hopes they're gonna be smart enough to kind of just make it simple for the general audience. They're gonna like introduce the concepts. So like, okay, folks, like honestly, I could buy that, like pulling out like an Emperor's New Groove flow chart and explaining it. I could honestly buy that.
Here's the thing, Dragon, and this is kind of almost kind of like my thesis statement on the trailer is I don't necessarily want a Deadpool team-up movie. What I want is a Deadpool Cable buddy cop movie. And I'm worried that we're not going to get as much of a Deadpool Cable buddy cop movie as we're just going to get this prequel to the X-Force, and so that to me is kind of like a little bit of a downgrade from the Deadpool Cable buddy cop movie. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense.
All right.
I mean, it's just the question of, we know we're getting a little bit of a longer runtime, which again, I don't know what to make of that. It could be good, could
But
be
then
bad.
again, I feel like something like Deadpool, you don't really want to push it too far past 2 hours. Honestly, I don't feel like something like Deadpool really calls to be longer than 2 hours in the same way something like Infinity War or a Guardians movie does.
Well, right. I'm just saying, like, compared to the first movie, which is like an hour and 40 minutes, they've kind of
Sure.
upgraded, went to to probably 2 hours, so like kind of a stand. I'm saying they've added time on anything.
Fine. I'm just saying, and like once you start pushing past that for a pure comedy, I think you're running into some potential issues.
Well, I think regardless, and, we'll see how they go about it. With all the the time travel of Cable, that I think we'll get a lot of buddy cop potential out of that. So it's always a question like when are we going to get them kind of in the buddy cop mode? And I think once they do that, once we get to that point, it'll be, even if it's sparse, it'll be worth it. And again, I think, I mean, I'll admit it is a curveball, the X-Force thing being thrown in there. If you're expecting, just the purely kind of Cable and Deadpool story, I'll give you that.
Which I mean, and the marketing up to this point is kind of like led us to believe that it's going to be a purely Deadpool Cable movie. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say I'm disappointed, Dragon. It's just not a direction I was expecting the trailer to go in. All right.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, and this is, of course, I'm sorry, it's Bill Skarsgård.
Yes, there's your boy, Tiki.
Yeah, there's my boy. There's Pennywise himself. Look at him just creeping in the background like that.
All right, now they haven't confirmed who he is, but I have a strong theory who he is. So there's a guy who's, again, general audience would not have any idea who this is, and again, that's the point. So they're going to introduce you to these guys, but this guy actually is from the X-Force stand, the original one, the very original, Cable Domino, like that original lineup. So this guy, if he is, there's a character called Shatterstar, and that's probably who this guy is. And Shatterstar, the main thing all you need to know is that he has cool swords. He's a guy who has swords. The one I like is when he has like two swords, like a gauntlet with like two swords on it, on like a one hand. Looks really awesome.
Kind of like Darth Maul.
Yeah, but it's not a staff. It was like built into the gauntlet. I'm saying that's a artist rendition of it. Rob Liefeld just gave him like two big old samurai swords. The idea, like, this guy's like another Rob Liefeld fantasy. That's kind of what the character. That's kind of what the character is. He's basically he's a guy with swords, and he can make a shot.
This movie is basically a balls to the walls like homage to the Rob Liefeld era. I'd be okay with that.
That's what I'm saying. I think the X-Force, I mean, honestly, what I'm expecting with the X-Force curveball is, I would imagine Act 2 is going to be X-Force and be like an homage to Rob Liefeld, just kind of crazy, like, we call them the Black Ops team, and then, well, that didn't work, and then it's going to be, Cable and Deadpool for the third act.
Yeah, I got to admit, like, I'm not the biggest Rob Liefeld fan, but he does have a very, very, very distinct style to him that I feel like would be fun and right at home in the Deadpool universe. So yeah, okay. Saying that, I'm a little bit more sold.
So Shatterstar, just in the comics, is just he has like an awesome sword gimmick, and he has sound wave capabilities. And we do see like a shock wave or a sound wave later on, so I presume that's him. So that's a guess.
Okay.
All right. Also, I imagine with the Shatterstar, even if that's not him, it's whoever Shatterstar is. With a guy with two swords kind of built like around the arms, like they're not fused in or anything. I can imagine some X-Men origin jokes coming out of that, like, blades in the arms. How convenient. And the music choice, I think, is pretty good in the trailer, too. And again, we have some more action shots here. Again, Yakuza stuff going on in Japan, kind of fighting guys and fighting guys at the spa.
I'm willing to bet that the spa stuff is in the opening scene, and then that's going to lead into the Raiders of the Lost Ark chase.
Yeah, sure.
Just because it'd be kind of like combining the Temple of Doom opening and the Raiders opening.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not in the opening, it'll be a montage, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
and more of that, just like him powder himself. And this is a fun little thing that you'll notice is he looks a little off in the scene. That's because you have to tuck that part of the mask into the suit. And again, I dressed as Deadpool for Halloween, so that's why it looks like that. So it's just
Oh, okay,
he
okay.
probably had to tuck
It's
the mask.
more like a movie accurate costume too, right?
Yeah, that's a move. They're doing like an accurate thing. He probably was without the mask, and he had to put it on or hurry or something, and he just didn't. He wasn't able to tuck
Nice,
it in.
nice. You know, Dragon, if they would have done, if he would have just done that in the Logan teaser, then Uncle Ben would still be alive.
You're right, because he was tucked in and everything in that. Logan, he was.
You know what I mean? Like, if he would have just let the mask fly, if he would have just, like, thrown on the mask, not tucked it in.
He was looking boss in that Logan trailer, but again, at the cost of fake Uncle Ben. Poor Tom Holland's fake uncle.
Oh god, I'm sorry, not to diss on Homecoming, but that's one of the biggest gripes I have with Homecoming is that they're just straight up afraid to use the words Uncle Ben. Anyways, I don't mean to go back to that. Let's move on.
Anyway, okay, now this thing is really I noticed this on the second go around. So we'll freeze on Deadpool here with the brick.
Okay.
Brick. Sorry, Freakazoid reference. Anyway, so this this brick thing here, I love it. I love this. You'll notice Deadpool is completely unarmed. You know, his guns are gone. His
Yeah, hold on.
Anyways, so when you see it again, his guns are gone and his swords are also gone. And again, before I noticed like the duct taped bullet wounds and everything, which is a lot of fun. So he's like kind of infiltrating this compound, most likely where like the internment camp is, like a rally or something is wherever, and he's using a brick because Deadpool is still dangerous even without his weapons, folks. He's found the brick somewhere, and he's like he bashes that guy across the face with it. Boom.
Hold on. Let's see that one more time, just for good measure.
Right there, jumps up, brick.
You can really see the blood spatter on that too.
That's what I'm saying. It looks even better on the real ice there. And again, this has got to be from like a montage, like him killing mobsters and like a montage. Again, there's a Japanese guy there, possibly in connection to Yakuza. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of some fun stuff. And classic Deadpool stuff. That's what I'm, at the very least, whatever this movie does, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that. So however this movie does at the end of the day, I'm going to enjoy like getting some classic Deadpool stuff again.
No, I feel you.
And again, David Leitch, it seems like that's kind of fitting into his John Wick kind of wheelhouse. So I think, and that the one gripe, it's not even a gripe, it's just something different. It's something different I got to get used to. They use a filter on this movie. It looks very different than the way Tim Miller shot Deadpool's. There's kind of a vaguely drained color. He's like a blue in every scene almost. And again, it's not killing the movie for me or anything. Because again, Deadpool is standing out a little bit. I just wish he was like a little bit more red in the shooting. Again, that might be like, depends on the lighting of scenes. Like when we're outside, it seems we have this a lot.
That could even change from trailer to post-production.
Certainly. And by the way, the moment that just happened is one of my favorite kind of classic things. I love so Deadpool's getting hit by a car, and this bit right here where he snaps his neck back into place. I love it when he just whoosh.
Right.
So I love that. It's like doing fun stuff with the healing factor. That's great. Oh boy, there's a lot of really good kind of fun stuff there, and of course, good old Negasonic here with her new hairdo and everything. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now there's the image I really want to talk about. So this is a fun image here. So, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just I don't know. I'm just chuckling at it.
Oh yeah, this is a fun image here. So Deadpool in his makeshift X-Men jersey. Now I have a theory.
Like he's like a sexy cheerleader car wash person or someone.
Well, he crossed the police line like it was like a relay race. That's what he's doing there. Now, here's my theory for this scene. I have a fun little theory. At the very least, what I think's gonna my big theory in regards to the X-Men for this movie is where we left Deadpool in the first movie. Colossus, was asking him to join the X-Men. He said, he agreed to consider joining the boy band, so to speak. And what I think is, because we did see the X-Mansion in its glory, we saw, the Blackbird landing and such. I think Deadpool either towards the beginning of this movie, we're going like getting from Act 1 to Act 2, what we might see is, okay, Deadpool is kind of doing his stuff. He's checking in on the X-Mansion, like doing some X-Men training. And one way or another. Again, whether he's there because he's like keeping his word, or he's there just to ask for another favor, like, hey, Cable's trying to kill this kid, I need your help, guys. Whatever brings him to the X Mansion, I'm convinced we're gonna have a mission where Deadpool goes on a mission with the X-Men. Like, you have Colossus and Negasonic on the side, and we have Deadpool. Basically, this is the scene of that kind of that exercise, and they have, like, there's a police barricade, like the X-Men. Probably they have to kind of facilitate a hostile mutant situation, like the Brotherhood or something. Like, there's a hostile, like a hostage situation, I guess. And Deadpool is just, he comes in not wearing an X-Men uniform, but wearing this jersey, and he's just charging in blindly, and he's gonna botch it up super. Like, the guy's probably gonna end up dead. Like, the hostage, it's gonna go sideways entirely, and then they're basically, Colossus is gonna realize, oh my god, he can't be an X-Men. He's horrible at it. And because of that, Tegan, here's where I'm going with all this. And the point is, we're gonna have like a failed X-Men mission.
I almost kind of hope it's like a parody of like the whole famous Spider-Man joins the Avengers arc.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying to you. I think
a really bad idea.
So this is where I really think we're going with Odyssey. I think regardless, we're going to have him try out being an X-Men for a brief bit in the movie, and logically, as it usually is, like, they're going to realize, no, Deadpool can't be an X-Men, and Deadpool, in reaction to that, he's going to form his own team, which is X-Force, and I think that's how the X-Force is going to kind of coalesce.
I really hope that Deadpool just directly admits that it's a ripoff of the X-Men, and it's a blatant, like, shameless ripoff of the X-Men.
Well, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did earlier in the movie. Well, early in the trailer, he just, he said, like, yes, it is a ripoff.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I hope he's proud of it. Like, I hope he's, like, gloating about it throughout the whole movie. Like,
I'm sure. I'm
ripped you guys off.
I'm sure he is. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to annoy Colossus to no end, I'm sure. So again, I would love it if they like, just he ticked off the X-Men, he got kicked off the team. He says, I'll form my own team. Be called X-Force. Yeah, I know it's a ripoff, but screw you guys.
All right.
All right. So, and this is cool.
Very much like a Terminator car chase moment right here.
Yeah, and we have a kind of a new definition to the word handgun in this scene.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
God. Dragon, I have a silly thought about this image, all right? You're going to have to bear with me.
Is it a James Bond joke?
No.
What?
Okay, do you remember the Family Guy, The Passion of the Christ 2?
Yes.
This feels like something that would be out of that movie. Like, oh, he goes to shoot Jesus' hand, but no, Jesus has a hole through his hand.
Yeah.
God. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I like that. I know you're talking about.
Have you ever used one of these? Have you ever used one of these?
Okay, real quick, just because you brought it up, I want to know, is because bringing up the whole hole in the hand gag, are you referring to the commentary where they had the deleted gag where it says there's an attractive woman who walks in the police precinct and asks, which one of you guys is Jesus Christ? And they raise their hand.
Up their hands, yeah, Jesus has the holes in his hands.
Yes.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm pulling it from.
I just want to make sure, because that's an awesome pull. I just want to commend you on that one. I'm proud of that one. Proud of my boy. Okay, so.
Well, good, because I feel like I haven't been really contributing all that much to the conversation.
So here's something fun. They have changed up this gag. And again, it's kind of like the whole, like, what are you, less angry Rosie O'Donnell? It's kind of like one of those jokes where we can improvise a lot under the mask, where after this whole, like, shooting the guy, which is awesome, by the way. So he turns the gun and shoots him. Like, right here, this is a reference to Blake Lively is in this movie. She's in Sister of the Traveling Pants. So it's kind of a little reference to the wife at home.
Mm-hmm.
But also, whether it's going to make the final cut or not, because again, they have a few alternates for this joke. What I love about it, though, is again, it's cool when they're doing this. It's a reference to the first movie where he says, and that's why Cocoon is pure pornography. And I just love the idea of Deadpool and all these, like, his ancillary conversation with Dupinder. He's had various conversations that end, and that's why this movie is pure pornography. So I just love that. That's a fun joke.
What I really like about this bit is that it kind of, like, it brings Deadpool and Dupender's bromance into the context of, like, a bigger work relationship. You know what I mean? Like a bigger office politics where it's like, okay, these two might get along and have all kinds of in-jokes, but oh god, kill me.
Yes, cutting the domino here. And this so again, Zazie Beetz, again, I'm still waiting for. I I was hoping by the marketing I get a better feel on her, and by the end, I mean this is kind of enough. But I still don't know how exactly I still feel about her. I have hope. My fingers are crossed, and she hasn't done anything to like tick me off or
She
anything.
hasn't
But
done anything to tick me off. I'm nervous that she's just going to come off as kind of bland more than anything.
all I know is she is kind of that. Again, as I've said before, and I do like a whole like analysis of it. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, like again, I've said this on record that one of the cool things about the first Deadpool movie is that Colossus and Negasonic prepared us for Cable and Domino, and very much like Negasonic, that's kind of the vibe of humor we're going to get from
Sure,
Domino, only with kind of like a more long form. Like she and Cable have more of a stake in the story. Again, they're definitely big Deadpool characters he interacts with a lot. So yeah, so we'll see where it goes. I was kind of hoping to get more of a feel on her, but we'll see. I'm optimistic. I'll go with it. I'll see where they're going to go with her.
Mhm.
And now here's sign. We had this little gag at the end here about kind of some sequel talk.
Well, really quick, do you like the abbreviated title card, the DP2?
I like it.
All right.
It's simple. I think I would have liked the whole untitled Deadpool sequel better, but it's fine.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the Iron Man 3 title card where they spell out the word 3.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't know why, Dragon. That still just really tickles me, the fact that they spell out the word 3 at the end.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it is kind of cute.
It
Yeah.
just, every time I think about it, it's like, they spelled out the word 3.
All right, so this kind of gag at the end. This is funny. On Tiki, I will bet you that this scene is a Terminator joke. It has to be a Terminator reference. It's going to be them like basically saying Terminator, and we should have capped it at 2. It's probably going to.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be because there's literally not been a good Terminator movie outside of the first two. I mean, that's just a God-given fact. You
It's
can't make
probably
a Terminator movie outside of the first two.
like I'll bet you the scene's going to go like he's basically like, oh hey wait, what's going on? Oh, I'm being chased by a Terminator knockoff. Oh, Terminator knockoff, and then they're going to kind of get into this conversation about you bet the
And
Terminator.
speaking of sequels, buddy, you're probably not going to be in the third one if we do make a third one.
Well, again, you know what? I wonder if they're gonna kill him off or just write him out. Because it'd be kind of funny if they killed him off.
Just killed him off brutally.
Well, here's the cool thing, though. Here's the cool thing. Okay, if they kind of ousted Tiki, it's a question if they're gonna recast or if they're just gonna kill him off. So either they kill him off, what they can do is this would be the perfect entry point, and hopefully by this time we'll have all the Marvel kind of the big facilitated deal sorted out. What we can do, no problem. We could still do it regardless, but we could do it even better than it was before. We could have Bob back. And again, I'm really hoping Bob has a
I've been dying for Bob. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. My big wish list thing for this movie is going to be if we get Bob in this movie and like another cameo, if we establish Bob, and at the very least, Bob has to be because he's a sidekick in the comics, and he could be the perfect replacement, for Weasel, as he is many a time in the comics. We could bring Bob in, and what we could do would be great is if we had like a job interview scene where we address what Bob is in the comics, where he says, oh, so where'd you work before? Oh, I worked for Hydra. So you worked for Nazis. Well, it was pseudo-Nazi science division. All right, good enough. Basically, we can mention Hydra by name finally. It's like, I used to say Hail Hydra. All that stuff.
Right.
And from what I heard, I don't know if they're directly saying like they don't want to do a Deadpool 3, because I've heard that the writers want to do a Deadpool 3, and they have this story, and basically said if they were to do a Deadpool 3, they're not going to do like another X-Force thing, because X-Force will be its own film series. They're just going to make like more of a solo Deadpool movie for a third one. So that's what they said if they're going to do a third one. So that's just where the actual
go back to the basics on Deadpool 3 and just make it solely about Deadpool without.
Yeah, that's the plan if they do a third one.
Yeah.
I know what I'd love to see him doing. Believe me, we should really save this till after the movie. But again, Gail Simone, let's do that story for the third one. Let's put Bob in that story and let's do Gail Simone. But yeah, so that's the trailer.
Yeah, so overall, Dragon, I feel like I don't mean to be cynical about this. To me, I'm just like, maybe it's a little bit of superhero fatigue where it's like we all know that the MCU is just kind of like the big brand that's going to knock everything out of the park. They've got a seal of quality to them. They're basically the Pixar of superhero movies at this point.
That's true.
But I don't know, when it comes to other studios and superhero movies, as fun as the first Deadpool was, I am not a guy who's really like super well versed on Deadpool like you are, and so I'm not going to appreciate all those little in-jokey references, like the fact that he's riding a moped or whatever. You know, like that. I'm glad that that appeals to you, Dragon. I'm glad that you get the reference, but to me, it's just like it just kind of goes over my head. So if this movie is nothing but deep cut references, then I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it. Having said that, Dragon, if this movie kind of takes the whole concept of like, all right, let's sort of do a riff on like the 1990s Rob Liefeld, like that ridiculous era of superhero comics, and basically make it its own thing. If they go generalized enough with it, then I think I could buy it. So I feel like it's just like how much of it is just going to be pure fan service, how much of it is just going to be pure crude humor for the sake of having crude humor. If they can get fan service in there that I can still appreciate, and if they can get crude humor in there that's written really well, then I think we've got another hit on our hands. However, if the crude humor is there just to have the crude humor, and we don't really do a lot with it, then I don't know, Dragon. I like Ted 2. I like Ted 2. I still don't think is like a terrible movie, but it's a horribly mediocre movie. And I'm not saying Deadpool 2 is going to be horribly mediocre. I'm saying, like, to me, I'm not convinced it's going to live up to the first one at all. Like, I know that you said it's not going to replace the shine of the first one for you, but I'm not even convinced it's going to be in the same ballpark. I don't know. To me, I'm kind of Dragon. I'll give you a more direct worry on my end. All right, you ready for my direct, like, what I fear this movie is going to be?
What?
I fear this movie is going to be a Kick-Ass 2. Where it's R-rated, it comes after a hit movie, but it's in the middle of a crowded summer season where they probably should have just kept it in February or in the the winter months. I don't know. I that's what I'm concerned about, Dragon. I'm concerned about a Kick-Ass 2 situation.
Well, let me say this. I think that's a really good analogy you had there with Kick-Ass 1 and 2. That's a good analogy. However, I just want to again. I'm not saying this would have. Now the problem is they kind of lucked into this. I'm not saying it was like part of their plan from the beginning, but again, I think now they're more secure in the summer slot because we moved Infinity War up, and its only competition is Han Solo, which really is
okay. Out of the two of those, yeah.
So I'm saying I think Deadpool's in it. And look, I'll like full disclosure going into this. I mean, look, this year it's not exactly going to be like it was with as much as I love Captain America, as much as I enjoyed Captain America: Civil War. 2016 very much is clear cut. Deadpool was my movie, and that was the biggest thing I was hyped for that year, and that delivered for me. In regards to this year, I mean, as much as I'm looking forward to Deadpool 2, and I am really looking forward to it. I mean, Infinity War is going to be the big priority. It's going to be that's the biggie this year, no question. That's the big all the hypes, all the hopes, all the expectation. That's all on that. But I mean, I'm based on my love for that first movie and everything. I'm very much hoping that it could be an example of a good sequel, or at least a sequel that has something to say about. If Deadpool had something to say about, doing a superhero movie or doing kind of like Deadpool was kind of a critique of superhero movies and kind of a farcical way where Logan, as we said with Logan's kind of the serious version of like a very smart kind of commentary on superhero movies. Almost. I'm sorry?
Art house almost.
Yeah, like an art house kind of like commentary on superhero movies. That's what Logan was. I feel I would hope that Deadpool could kind of pull like another kind of a farcical kind of commentary on sequels and what we do with franchises and stuff. And also, I mean, part of me hopes that honestly, with the X-Force thing, worst case scenario, we could still glean from that is they can make fun of like the DC universe, the DCEU, and like how they're kind of fast tracking making teams and stuff. Like we have them meet. Think about it. There is somewhat of a kind of like a Batman v Superman vibe in kind of the pieces on the board here. He's going up against another kind of iconic guy from his universe, and we're kind of putting together a team for another franchise down the line. So we are kind of saying something with that. And again, there might be more fun substance in there. Like again, stuff to kind of mock and kind of hold a mirror up to, kind of a satire on that. And I'm hoping for that. I'm hopeful. My guy. Yes, this is the last time we're gonna be able to do it. So it's like my anticipation going into this movie, before it's all said and done, is that I'm hoping for the best case scenario. I think I'm gonna enjoy it one way or another. It's the question if it's gonna again just be in the same league as Deadpool. Whether it's gonna be again not gonna surpass it by. I'm not holding any breath that's gonna surpass it. It could always like really surprise me, but I'm just hoping it's gonna at least be good. Again, we had like a big shakeup in the change of director, so it's an unknown entity how this movie is going to do. It could be Kick-Ass 2 or a Ted 2. It could be, or it could be an Age of Ultron, which is like some people really appreciate it. Some people just, they kind of like saying, yeah, it could have been done better. It's unknown how it could go. I'm hoping. Best case scenario could be a Winter Soldier, but what's
Or
that?
Spider-Man 2.
Yes, that's a better example. Yes, I mean best case scenario, like a Spider-Man 2. We'll see. I'm hopeful. I'm pulling for the old Merc with a mouth. That's always where I'm coming at. I'm pulling for Deadpool.
All right. So thanks for joining us, folks. In terms of Main Street Cinema stuff, we've got actually a lot on the docket. We've got Ready Player One is right around the corner, and that's my most anticipated movie of the year. And as Dragon alluded to, we're going to do a lot of coverage on Infinity War, quite a bit of coverage on Deadpool 2, and maybe talk about that weird Han Solo movie that's coming up too.
Yeah, sure. What the
heck? But in the meantime, folks, without further ado, don't forget. There's a snake in my boots.
You got your Infinity Stones right here.
Reach for the sky.